and welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks who play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland, joined as always by my co-host and father, Rick Cleveland. Dad, you have a good weekend?
Pretty good weekend. You know, it's October. Mississippi. A lot of good golf weather.
I know. I walked outside. It was unbelievable. Dad, I'm really excited about today's show. We've got a very special guest in the studio with us. 13-year NBA veteran, Jackson native Mo Williams, the head coach of the Jackson State Tigers, father to two of the very best high school basketball players in Mississippi. So many bases to cover with you, Mo. We're so grateful for you for being here with us.
I appreciate you guys for having me. I've been knowing your dad here for a long time. He covered me. I'm starting to feel old.
How do you think he feels? Right.
And first off, congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Just announced last Monday will be in the class of 2025 Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. We knew it was going to happen. I mean, it was a no-brainer that you would go into the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame.
Not so soon, though. I'm really humbled with how soon it happened.
Well, I think you're a first ballot guy. That doesn't happen very often, so congratulations.
I appreciate it. And I'm joining someone that's on this podcast right now, in Rick Cleveland.
Yeah,
I said 2014. See, he's getting old, showing his age. He don't know what year he went in.
That's right. Well, so many things to cover today. I mean, number one, let me ask you about your boys. How are they doing?
They're doing great. Obviously, they was at JA last year, had a tremendous year, 30-1.
I saw them win the state championship.
I mean, I loved them playing in that system over there. So I'm optimistic about, obviously, Germantown, new system, new coach. I thought at JA the system was really, really good.
Jesse does a great job.
I mean, he's a terrific coach. And I love his structure. So I was sad to see them leave there. But at the same time, I think high-level public school basketball will suit them well. I think that's a good challenge for them. Being in the district they're in, they got Starkville with Carlisle. Carlisle just went to Starkville. Right. He's a terrific coach. I respect. So I think that
Anthony went to Starkville?
He did. And they're in the same district.
Yeah.
You know, so they're in a good district. Madison Central going to be solid this year.
Clinton.
Starkville, Clinton. You know, I don't know what Tupelo got, but typically, you know, that's going to be a good district, and they're going to have to play. You know, they're going to have to see Starkville, you know, at least 4 times. So I think it'll be a great challenge for them. They're excited about it. I pop in their practices. Obviously, still train them. I'm excited for them. You know, I think this is a year where they, you know, separate themselves, you know, with who they are. My oldest son, Mike, he's a senior that's committed to Jackson State, which I'm excited about. And Mason is a junior, which he's still, you know, being recruited, and I'm still going to have to recruit him also. And hopefully he comes too. But at the end of the day, I don't push my kids to go to Jackson State. Even Mike, I offered him, I recruited him, but you know, I let him get recruited by other schools, and obviously he made the decision. He came to me and said he wanted to come to Jackson State. It was nothing I pushed him on.
Well, folks that hadn't seen them need to get out and see them, because they are really not just outstanding players, but just the way they play the game. They defend. They're fundamentally so sound, and they play so hard, both of them. Yeah.
I'm excited about seeing them at Germantown. You know, that top-level MAIS basketball is so good. It really is. I mean, you're talking about, you know, MRA prep, JA, and now Hartfield getting in on it. But it's so good. But you're right, man, that public school season, that's going to be fun to watch, you know, just like, especially that region battle, because those are some of the best teams in the state. Starkville and Clinton have been right there. Now Carlisle is an interesting move, man. It's going to be a fun year in high school basketball in Mississippi.
It will.
Did you ever play against one of his daddy's teams?
I didn't. Yeah. We never played, but I'm aware who his dad is. I mean, he's a legend.
Fine coach.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. But knowing who his dad is and the way they talk about his dad, his son, he's a replica. You know, he's structured. You know, they're gonna. You know, he's a good coach. You know, and you can tell he come from a coaching background, and he's young. So I watch him closely because I know he want to get in the college game, and I watch him closely. I think highly of him.
I'm so old that I remember his daddy coaching and me out there to do a column at Northwest Rankin on his daddy, and Anthony was 3 years old sitting on the bench dribbling a basketball while the game was going on.
That's wild. I mean, he was born to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Mo, speaking of high school basketball in Mississippi, I was looking down your returning roster and your incoming guys at Jackson State this year, and we talked about it a little bit off air, but it looks like a who's who of Mississippi high school guys that I've covered in the past 2 or 3 years. If I was putting together a dream team of those guys, I think that makes up most of your roster. Talking about the Ebo Wilson and
Deshaun Ruffin.
Yeah, just Deshaun Ruffin, the transfer, But I mean, just looking down the list, Kevion Hunt, Tamarian Hoover. I mean, these guys.
I mean, you talk about guys you cover. I mean, you can go Kevion Hunt, Deshaun Ruffin, Jamie Mitchell, Ebo Wilson, Dorian McMillan, Spank from Yazoo, Tamarian Hoover. I mean, that's 7 guys. Kevion Hunt, I don't know if I mentioned him. You're talking about, 75% of the roster, being from Mississippi, with 2 more coming in this year. I'm excited. When I first got the job at Jackson State, that's one thing I wanted to do and make a point of is recruiting in-state talent. If they're not going to Mississippi State or Ole Miss, the next destination is Jackson State. And even those guys that Mississippi State or Ole Miss offering, we're offering those guys too, and we're recruiting them hard. Just like Jay Marder said, Ken obviously went to Mississippi State, but we recruited them hard. We recruited them hard. I wanted them. But at the same time, you recruit those guys too because the transfer portal is real. It's real. Yeah. So if you recruit them, even though you might not get them, out of high school, and that's a big recruiting tool for us where we recruit them hard because if we're not their first option, we definitely want to be their second.
Right.
So we want to get guys back, and we've been real successful in our recruiting. Our staff is recruits and family gravitate to our staff because we're so together. I know all my staff. Our cohesiveness is second to none. So that energy translates to recruits and families. Our team is a replica of how our staff is. We want our team to be together, and that's the environment we create because we are, I hate saying it, but we are at a low resource institution where we don't have the glitz and the glamours where recruits just come on campus and see our arena and just see the signage. They don't really get that aspect of the facility aspect. So we sell them on the family. We sell them on myself being there, what I can do for them, how I can develop and how I can get them to the next level. And if you take guys, that we're getting that's really, really good, I understand that they have a goal to play at the highest level, whether it's coming out of high school playing at a Power 4. It used to be Power 5. But nowadays, it's a different way of recruiting, and I recruit different. So I recruit these guys, and I let them know, you come here, I'm going to develop you. You'll get an opportunity to play right away. I don't have the NIL money that you can go get somewhere else, but you're going to get playing time. You may get a little money, but at the end of the day, in 2 years, we can sit down and we can go into the portal together, and you can be developed and ready to go somewhere. So that's a recruiting tool for me to get these real talented kids that can go to Murray State, that can go to UAB, that can go, to these schools or even go to a Mississippi State. Whereas you go to a Mississippi State, they're loaded. You may be a year away from playing.
Wow.
But you can come to Jackson State and play as a freshman. And guess what? You can revisit that Mississippi State in a year or two when you'll be ready to go. So that's a recruiting tool for me, and I use that.
I was talking to a buddy about that the other day. He said, can you imagine being Mo? You get a kid and he comes in. If he plays great, he's going to go somewhere else. I'm like, that's something he can use. That's actually a selling point.
Exactly. I go get the next one. Right. And I use that as an example. Ken Evans, I'll speak on Ken Evans for a second. He went, player of the year in our conference last year. He got a year left. 3 days after the last game of the season, I call him and his family, mom and dad, into my office, and I made it easy on him. I said, it's time for you to hit the portal. You've earned it. You got the opportunity to go wherever you want to go and get a nice NIL deal, something he's never been on. He was at Jackson State 5 years, was never on an NIL deal. And I use that. with players when I recruit. Just tell them you come here and you take care of your business, and I would not hold you back on any kind of situation.
Here's another recruiting pitch you can use. Come to Jackson State and you will see the country.
That's right. No doubt about
it. That's right.
You're going to have some miles, I promise you. We're going to travel. I mean, that goes into a whole nother segment. I mean, you know it. If you look at our schedule, if you've been around the game and you know college basketball, you will look at our schedule and you will go, wait a minute. They don't have any home games? 13 straight road games, non-conference, not one at home. And then that's a norm. That's a norm. I mean, that is a difficult task. But I've learned to embrace it, just try to enjoy it. But it's a haul. I mean, it's grueling.
Yeah, but like last year, you go to Columbia, Missouri. You beat Missouri, SEC.
Yep.
At Jackson State with as you say.
Well, can I add something to that?
Yeah.
So we beat Missouri, and this is a college team, not an NBA team. We was on the road 20 days. That was our 20th day straight. When we left here, we went and played 6 straight games, never came back to Jackson, and our last game was Missouri on the 20th day.
You can put that on your tombstone. That's unbelievable.
But it felt good, too.
It did. Oh, my goodness, it did. And we was 0-5 because that was our 6th game. So our first 6 games was on the road, but we left, started in Memphis, and just kept going. We went out west to California, worked our way back to Tulsa, then Missouri. We all over the country in 20 days. And on 0-5, going into Missouri, and got a win on the last day.
That begs the question, how do they do school?
Well, we have an academic advisor that travels with us because we on the road so much. So we have academic staff. So when we're on the road, off days on the road, they do have study hall, and they do have to get their work done. But that's one of the biggest things that I gripe about with us being on the road and how we got to figure this thing out, because we're treating these guys, first of all, they're not getting NIL money, so they're not getting paid, and we're asking them really to go work for us. We're asking them to go out and go get us $1 million. So that means you guys got to go from November and December, you're never at school. So you're talking about student athletes, right? Student athletes. So the one thing about college is the experience. Being on campus, going to class, going to the cab, going to the events. But they work in November and December. I say working. They're working. And I feel like they're missing out on half of their college experience because November, December, they're never on campus. We're always gone. And I think that's tough. That's tough. It's hard to build a fan base because, you're not playing a home game till January. Yeah. The season started in November.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If let's say you go in there and knock off, let's say, number 4 Houston on November 4th, they can celebrate with their friends on January 1st when they get home. You know what I mean? That's rough.
No, it's tough.
Yeah, well, and it's right on top of us right now. I mean, you got your first 2 exhibitions. Well, your 2 exhibitions like in the next few days.
Yes. So on the 24th on Thursday, we got Belhaven at home, and I always like to do an exhibition at home because we don't have home games. So that's a good way for our fans to just get a good look at us before we call it our tour. We go on tour.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you have to embrace it. It's time to go on tour. And we excited. We excited about the season. Like I said, we play Belhaven on Thursday, and I'm really excited about Monday on the 28th, going to play against USM. Their older team this year, got a lot of grad transfers. That'll be a good test for us before we open up at Houston, the number 4 team in the country.
And later on, you go to Rupp.
We go to Rupp, and they're ranked. They're ranked, and they're. Yeah, Cal not there, but if you go back and watch BYU, I mean, he had them guys rolling over there, and they was pretty good. So I'm sure the same system he's going to have at Kentucky. So it's going to be different. Kentucky's going to be a team that's shooting a lot of threes this year, and that's the way he played at BYU. So that'll be tough. And we got Iowa State, which is number 5 in the country.
Yeah.
You know, and this the thing. See, you guys are sports guys. Just take our non-conference schedule and just take Mississippi State and Ole Miss non-conference schedule and take the school names off and then decide who has the toughest non-conference schedule.
Oh, there's no question.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like
There's no question.
We always, because the Mississippi State to Ole Miss, they're playing a lot of schools on my level.
Well, they're paying guarantees.
Exactly. They're buying wins. We call it buying wins. They buy wins. So when teams buy us, they expect to win.
Okay.
And people don't understand the dynamic of that is the teams that bring us there, they're basically putting on a game. They're basically paying us to come play them. They paying the referees because it's not a conference game where they're getting paid by the conference. So the referees are getting paid. Their check is coming from the school.
Right.
So when you look up and you're not getting calls,
Yeah.
and you're on the road, you're playing against a really good team where you need the game to be kind of neutral to have a chance.
Yeah.
So you look up in non-conference out of 13 games, we're 2-11, and you look up and say, oh, man, they're not that good. It's not the case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just went on tour to raise money, you know, and when you do, just like the Missouri game, you watch the end of that game when we won, how we celebrated. It was our first win. But we celebrated because we understand the magnitude, how hard it is to get a win, especially against an SEC team.
Yeah.
And then the icing on the cake, if you do well in enough of those games, they'll stop calling you.
They would not listen.
They won't play you.
I'll give you a quick story on that. So last year, we beat Missouri, and then we go beat Arkansas. No, we beat Missouri. It's a 3-game span. We beat Missouri. We go play Georgetown right after that. It's a 2-point game or 4-point game with 3 minutes to go in the game. They end up pulling it out, and then we leave there and go to Arkansas State and beat them. So we win like 2 out of 3. But Ed Cooley, the coach at Georgetown, he called me after the game and told me, you know, I got a really good team, and you got a really good team. Spoke highly of the team, spoke highly of what I'm doing and things like that. Told me, hey man, you going places, and you ever need me, you just let me know. But the point I'm making is, he said, but I'm just letting you know, don't call me for no game. I ain't never playing your game. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Like, I'm not paying someone to come and beat me. So I have issues scheduling games.
Yeah.
So it's tough to schedule games because teams do not want to lose. They want to play the bottom teams in our league to get an easy win.
Well, it's a conundrum because you have to play the games to fund your program. You have to play the tour, as you put it, to fund your program. When you win one of those games, it's like a catch-22.
22. I mean, one thing about Missouri, we didn't waste our time calling them this year.
Yeah.
So we have to talk. I mean, you played 13 years in the NBA. You were an NBA All-Star. You won an NBA championship. Is there one crowning moment? Is there one accomplishment that you're more proud of than any of your NBA year?
Yes. Surviving, for one. Be honest with you, surviving in the NBA, it is hard. I tell kids all the time, because, every kid I recruit, my first question is, do you love the game? Yes, sir. Everybody say that. I said, what's your goal? What you want to do? I want to go to the NBA. Everybody want to go to the NBA. I said, let me explain something to you. That's going to be the hardest thing that you're going to ever accomplish in your life. It's damn near impossible. So to answer that question, it's just having longevity, having a long career. But the highlight is not my All-Star, but winning the NBA championship. Man, that feeling is surreal. Just being a part of that, winning a championship the way we won it, down 3-1, winning 3 in a row against a Golden State team that year. And people don't realize how hard that was because That was the year they won, they was going after the Bulls record.
Yeah.
The entire year, they haven't lost 2 games in a row. The whole year, 2 games in a row. And we go beat them 2 out of 3 times on their home floor. And beat them 3, well, we beat them 2 out of 3 times out of their own floor, but beat them 3 games in a row to win the NBA championship. So that's the best feeling I've ever had in my life as an athlete, because we win a championship, we celebrate on their court. We had 2 planes, so they flew all our family out on 1 plane, all the family on 1 plane, and we had our team plane. So after we won, you know, the family and everybody go to the team plane. Their plane, we go to the team plane. So we think we're heading back to Cleveland. And we get on the air, Cleveland from Golden State, you know, that's 4.5 hours. We on the plane, we celebrate. This is crazy. This cigars on the plane, cigars, whatever alcohol you can think of. Yeah. I mean, we was celebrating. You know, I don't know if 10% of the guys even had shirts on. That's how we were celebrating. But we was in the air about 45 minutes to an hour, and all of a sudden, he came on the intercom, we about to land. We're like, wait a minute, we're not in Cleveland. We in Vegas. The team. I'm talking about owners on the plane, everything. So they had us set up at a club. The whole team, front office, everybody, we went to celebrate it all night long. We jump on a plane to head back to Cleveland probably about 6 in the morning from Vegas. We land around 9 a.m. in Cleveland. It's 100,000 people at the airport when we land. So we land that morning, so the parade is set, you know, the next day. We still on a high, so nobody's getting sleep. We still celebrating. Then we get up and go to parade. It's 1.5 million people downtown Cleveland in a block radius. And they had the parade set, you know, it starts at 9. We're going to make this loop. We'll get back here at 12. Then we'll go to the podium with the crowd. So it was scheduled that way. It was so many people in the parade where, you know, they have, you know, the parades, they have us blocked off where it was so many people where when I'm driving my car, I can stick both of my hands out and touch people. It was people's feet getting ran over because it was so compact. It's people on top of light poles, and I promise you guys can pull up pictures. I don't know how they was standing on these light poles. It couldn't have been safe. And it started at 9 for us to go around the block. We didn't get back till 4. You know, so it was surreal. You know, that moment was surreal. So to answer your question, that winning a championship, that experience will stick with me for the rest of my life.
That's incredible. I want to see the difference in the airplane pulling into Vegas and pulling out of Vegas.
Oh, yeah. We were asleep. We were asleep going back.
So who's the best player you played against?
Against Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson. I'll give you a quick Allen Iverson story. So in 2004.
Does it involve practice?
No, this is a game. This is a game. And it's actually going to be kind of funny, too. Yeah. So I'm in my second year, 2004. This is the year AI is scoring champion, just coming off an MVP. And this is my second year, my first year starting. You know, my rookie year, I didn't start. I was in Utah. Then I went to Milwaukee my second year, and I'm starting. TJ Ford get hurt, missed a year. I'm starting. Can't remember what game it was, but whatever. We playing Philly, AI. And he's leading the league in scoring at the time. It's my matchup. I'm, you know, a little antsy, a little nervous, you know, because it's my first time really competing against him like that. Make a long story short, the first half, we go into halftime. He got 15 points. You know, it's a leading scorer. So get into halftime. Coach coming there, he said, "Hey, Mo, you're doing a hell of a job on AI. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, keep doing what you're doing." So I'm sitting over there feeling myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a good job. That's what I'm talking about. And so we coming back out of halftime, and their locker room was on one end, our locker room on the other end, but we have to cross the court to the other goal, so we had to walk by each other. Now, I didn't know AI personally, so we wasn't conversating at the time, anything like that, but he walked by me, and he wasn't talking to me, but he wanted me to hear it. He was like, I walked by him, he said, "Yeah, I done sweated this liquor out, young fella." But he never looked at me when he said it. And I walked by and I never looked at him, but I heard it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell that supposed to mean? He only finished with 54 points.
Oh, no.
And this is a true story. It's a true story. I said, oh, my God, I see what he meant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, AI was a great high school quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And at the announcement of the Hall of Fame the other day, your junior high football coach was there, John Richardson, a great guy. And he said, Mo could have been a college quarterback. He could have been an SEC quarterback.
I was pretty good. I was. I played football. I mean, I played football, baseball, basketball. I was good, really good at all three sports. Baseball was my love. I tell people all the time, I really love basketball, but I really love baseball. I love football. I was a shortstop.
Yeah,
I was
you look like a shortstop.
Yep. That was my position. Obviously, you know, being young, I pitched a little bit, well, a lot, but shortstop was my position. I had good range. I had a real good arm, and I was agile. I could scoop anything. So I really love baseball. Just a mouthful of sunflower seeds, kicking dirt. You know, I miss those days. But football, it was something I played when I was young. I always played quarterback. Got to middle school with Coach Richardson, and one practice we was undefeated. We was really good too. And one practice got hit with my knee, so I had to miss maybe the last 2 games. And played my basketball season in a brace. And, you know, back then they had that big bulky brace you had to wear, which was uncomfortable. I had to wear that. And at that moment, I remember talking to my dad. He said, hey, he always talk like, hey, partner, you need to make you a decision. Because you keep playing football, you ain't going to be able to play no sport. So that was the end of my football career because I was playing baseball and basketball at the time, and the injury scared me. So I ended up playing baseball and basketball in high school, and I had the opportunity I was getting recruited in basketball, and people was using the baseball to get me there, saying, hey, you can play both sports, So I entertained that. And then my dad said, hey, partner, you need to make a decision because you need to focus on one thing. You know, trying to focus on 2 things, you're never going to reach your potential and need either one. So I always took that to heart. And my dad was good at giving direct advice. Like, I'm going to just say this and let you make the decision. So going into my senior year, this decision was kind of made easier for me personally because basketball kind of went into baseball season because I was ended up being a McDonald's All-American. And at the time, it was an Adidas round ball, which is the Jordan Classic now, which is a big deal. So I was invited to both of those national All-American games, which kind of was at the end of the season, was the end baseball season. So once I finished that, it was like 6, 7 baseball games left. We weren't really good at Merle, so we weren't going to the playoffs. So I just didn't play my senior year. And I remember Atlanta Braves scout, you know, was coming down here and came to my house. Never forget, sat down with my dad, and he was like, all they got to do is play 1 game. And we're going to draft him. And I didn't play my senior year because I decided to go to college to play basketball. So that's how much I love the game of baseball. But basketball really kind of took a turn because I was getting so much notoriety in basketball and wanted to kind of see what that led me, and I think I made a good decision.
Oh, you made the right decision, but aren't you glad you played when you were younger? You played all of them. I think that parents who get their kids to specialize in one sport in the 7th or 8th grade is just
early.
too early.
That's too early because you got to understand when you're a kid, you want them to play every sport because whatever your main sport is, those other sports is going to help you in your main sport. Me playing football, it created toughness. Yeah. It created a toughness in me, a grit, a grind, playing through pain. It doesn't matter. Baseball, really my instincts, my hand-eye coordination, you know, just all those type of things. Being patient because baseball teaches you patience. And obviously basketball, it taught you a lot of things. So just all those sports combined. That's why I look at kids that grow up playing soccer. That's basketball players. Their footwork is impeccable. Because of soccer, you gotta be able to use your feet. You gotta be able to move. Those guys are usually light on their feet. Like Steve Nash, for example. He's a big soccer guy. Kobe Bryant was a big soccer guy, and you go back and look at his footwork. We talking about Kobe Bryant here, but his footwork is it's on another level. So I think other sports definitely that translates to whatever sport that you would choose. So I echo you, and all parents should put your kids in every sport that's possible, especially if they're interested in.
Yeah.
Mo, we're about out of time, but I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the state of Jackson basketball. Just in the 3 or 4 years that I was covering high school basketball these past couple of years, it seems like the communities around Jackson are really getting good. I mean, you know what I mean? I watched Northwest Rankin win a championship, Raymond, Canton. I have a feeling Germantown's about to be really good. Just how different is it now?
I know exactly why, because I talk about this all the time. That's a hell of a question you just asked. That's a good question, actually, because we've had this topic. And the topic is always, Jackson basketball ain't like it used to be. No, it ain't. Because guess what? When I came up in Jackson, all the parents at that time lived in Jackson. So now us that's coming up, we're not in Jackson anymore. We're in Terry, we're in Brandon, we're in Madison, we're in Ridgeland, everybody's kind of moving out of Jackson. So where the kids are, out of Jackson. So the talent is on the outskirts of Jackson. So that's why you have the Brandons, the Germantowns, those schools being dominant. Because think about it. Germantown, let's take Germantown, for example, and I'll just keep it short. I'm from Jackson, grew up in Jackson, born and raised in Jackson, went to Murrah. Both of my kids at Germantown. They're not at a Jackson school. Sam Funches, grew up in Jackson, went to Murrah. Son is in Germantown. That's just a example, of if we came back home and wanted to live where we grew up at, our kids would be at a Jackson school, probably at the school we went to. So all the kids are just on the outskirts, all the talent. And the people that's in Jackson now, because obviously Jackson hasn't grown like the suburbs. So when you're a parent, you want the best for your kids. You want the best education for your kids as possible. And you want to move to a Ridgeland or Clinton. There's a lot of people in Clinton.
Dane Hamilton's kid, Kamani.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Just imagine if everybody that played in Jackson lived in Jackson, their kids would be coming to Jackson. Jackson will still be the same.
Yeah.
I guess it's progress, but, I came to Jackson in 1979, and from then until maybe 2010, high school basketball in Jackson was really, really special. I mean, the rivalries, Lanier, Provine, Murrah, I miss that.
Yeah. And
I hope
it's still talent in Jackson. Don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about, when you look up, he's best player in the state. Oh, he's the best player in the state. You look at Jay Martin is at Canton. He's at Canton. Mike, my son, Germantown, Keita Simmons, Boonville. You look down the list of guys that they have ranked in the state in the 2025 class. You got to keep going down the list to find a kid from Jackson. Yeah. So it's just the talent has been more spread out. Because I remember, you look at the Danny Dozen list when they used to be real good at the Danny Dozen list. I mean, you look at 12 of them, 7 of them probably be from Jackson.
Yeah, that's right.
You probably do a list now, you might get one in there.
Yeah. Well, there's somebody that does them, so.
Yeah, that's right. I will say the one that keeps competing is Lanier. I don't know how they're doing it. They're just everyone else kind of fell off a little bit. Lanier it seems to be in it every year.
Now I gotta give Murrah some love, and I gotta give Lanier some love real quick before we go. On the football side, we're not known as football schools, but Murrah is 6-1, and so I want to say Lanier might be still undefeated, or they're close, or they might have lost. So I'm gonna give them some love on that. So they're competing.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, I want to see the Jackson schools do well.
Me too. Mo, thanks again for joining us, man. This has been fantastic. And best of luck to you this season, man, both in, guiding your sons and also, with the basketball season.
Exactly.
You got a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. So,
and we want to guarantee that when you come back off the tour, that you'll come back in and do our show.
Absolutely. We'll do that.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this week. Y'all have a good week out there. Be safe, and we'll talk to you next week.